Major road accident in Delhi has reignited concerns over rash driving. A senior finance ministry official was killed and his wife critically injured after their motorcycle was hit by a BMW near Dholakwa in Delhi. Now, the accused, who was driving the BMW, has been arrested and, as per Delhi police sources, has been produced in a court today. The couple was on their way to their home to Harinagar when the accident took place. And now cops are probing why the couple was hospitalized 19 kilometers away from the accident site in those critical minutes of recovery and some life-saving sort of mechanism that could have been provided. But the case has raised major concerns as well over the value of life when it comes to such incidents.
A high-profile life snuffed out by speed demon in Delhi. Navjot Singh, Deputy Secretary in the Department of Economic Affairs under the Ministry of Finance, crushed to death. His wife, Sandeep Kaur, battling for her life after their bike was mowed down by a speeding BMW during the couple's post-lunch drive home. Behind the wheels of the recklessly speeding BMW was Gaganpreet Makkar, who has now been arrested. The couple on the motorcycle was mowed down by the BMW near Dholakwa. BMW was being driven by Gaganpreet and her husband, Parikshit, was in the car.
The entire front portion has gone off. The BMW is a luxury car, but clearly the impact of the entire accident is visibly felt on this car. As you can see, the entire wind bags opened, and also the backside of the car. You can see how visibly the damage has been in this incident.
मैंने देखा एक गाड़ी उल्टी पड़ी है, एक्सीडेंट हो गया है, तो मैं इस करके मैंने हेल्पिंग के थ्रू उनको दोनों को अपनी गाड़ी में बैठाया और मैं हॉस्पिटल की तरफ रवाना हुआ। न्यू लाइफ करके हॉस्पिटल बता रहे थे और वो बता रहे थे कि आज़ादपुर की साइड जाना है।
The FIR reveals a possible sinister plot to destroy evidence. After the crash, Navjot and Sandeep were taken by the accused to a hospital in GTB Nagar, which was 19 kilometers from the accident spot, owned by the family friend. While ignoring plea by the victim's wife to take her husband to nearby premier hospitals like AIIMS and Safdarjung, losing crucial moments which could have saved the top bureaucrat.
नवनूर, पूरे मामले में आई थिंक एक ही चीज है जो सबको खनक रही है कि आप इतना दूर किसी को क्यों ले जाओगे।
हाँ, वो मुझे भी नहीं समझ आया कि इतना दूर धौलाकुआं जहाँ एक्सीडेंट हुआ है उसके आसपास इतने अच्छे बड़े हॉस्पिटल्स हैं एंड ये 20 किलोमीटर दूर कोई अजीब से नर्सिंग होम में ले गए जहाँ मेरी मम्मी को बाहर लॉबी में ट्रीट कर रहे थे। वो मेरे पापा बाय द टाइम उनको हम लेके गए मॉर्चरी में, देयर वर flies on him.
The victim's family also claimed that Navjot's critical hurt wife, Sandeep, was kept on a stretcher for several hours before she was treated by doctors.
जो कार जिनकी थी BMW, उनके हॉस्पिटल में फेंका हुआ था उनको दोनों को। कोई दिक्कत नहीं, कोई देखभाल नहीं, कुछ नहीं कर रहे थे।
The accused now face charge of culpable homicide not amounting to murder. They have also been charged for destruction and concealment of evidence and rash driving.
गगनप्रीत को देख पा रहे हैं आप, लेकर दिल्ली पुलिस की टीम यहाँ पर पहुंची हुई है। अब यहाँ पर गगनप्रीत से जो डीसीपी रैंक के अधिकारी हैं वो पूछताछ करेंगे। बकायदा नॉर्थ दिल्ली के अस्पताल से कस्टडी में लिया गया।
The deadly BMW crash once again highlighting the killer menace of overspeeding and reckless driving on Delhi's roads. With Arvind Ojha and Shreya Chatterjee, Bureau Report, India Today.
And some more updates coming in on this news coverage, entire bit of that accused driver, Gaganpreet Kaur, who's been arrested by the police. Now, new details are emerging that the killer BMW crash that was caught on CCTV actually shows that the car first rammed into the divider before having an impact on the bike of Navjot and ultimately leading into the crash. Now that's critical. Let's try and understand what this really means. My colleague Shreya is with us. Shreya, what does this new information really tell us? Did she lose control of the car and it went into the divider as an impact? The car, the bike actually was rammed into. What exactly is that CCTV footage telling us?
Well, Sonal, because I myself personally saw that CCTV footage which the Delhi police just showed us, it clearly shows that this BMW car was in a speed which did go out of control. That is when there was a divider on the right hand side of the road, which was along the metro pillars. It first hit the divider. Subsequently, it tilted into 90 degree, then rammed into the bike, then rams into the bus. So that is why those after visuals you see the bike of Navjot actually lying just underneath the vehicle, which is also already toppled down. The impact was such huge because it had first hit the divider. The CCTV clearly establishes that. Now, multiple other things have been picked up that suggest that, why did they take the victims to a hospital 19 kilometers? As of now, in the interrogation, the accused maintains that because she has a trust with the hospital during the COVID time, that is the reason why she chose that hospital. Whether or not the court finds it plausible is something that we will have to wait for. As of now, she will be produced in the court today, either before the duty or in the Patiala House Court as the regular schedule suggests. And then we will be seeing her sent to judicial custody because in all likelihood, Delhi police will not be seeking a police custody is what we have been confirmed.
All right, not seeking police custody, that means they pretty much have all the things that they need from her. That generally indicates that they don't need any further evidence and they pretty much established what the sequence of events here are. Shreya, we also saw your interview with the son. It's just heartbreaking, isn't it? You just leave home one day to visit someone, or you go to office but you never come back. It is such a tragic situation to be in, and on top of that, to know that had the victim here been taken to a hospital nearby, maybe, just maybe, his life could have been saved.
Well, absolutely, and that's exactly what is the first aid in every accident situation. It's unfortunately Navnoor's birthday tomorrow is what we're also being told. He is absolutely devastated. His mother just went into a surgery today. Father passed away. Both the couple actually had a usual Sunday affair. They were having a lunch post which they were returning when this entire accident took place. I absolutely reiterate what Navnoor says. The collision may have been an accident. What transpired is nothing less than a murder, and that's precisely why we saw two crucial sections added by the Delhi police. One, death by negligence, and the other, destruction of evidence.
Well, Shreya, thank you so much for bringing us all those details. Tragic, tragic indeed. Let's break it open to some guests now who are joining us. Piyush Tiwari, founder and CEO of Save Life Foundation, is with us. Also joining us is Dr. Kamal Soy. He's a member for the National Road Safety Council and the Ministry of Road and Transport Highways, Government of India. Dr. Kamal, let me come to you first. I want to understand that Shreya is right when she says, and the son is right in this case when he says that the collision might have been an accident, but choosing to not go to the nearest hospital shows an intent of not saving life.
Absolutely,
Just
that is
a
true. That's absolutely, that's right. Right, is maybe they might have been trying to cover it up, and there are a lot of other things attached to it. Number one is the speeding. Number two, there may be a distracted driving as well. Maybe the lady who was behind the wheel, she was talking on the phone, or she was under some kind of intoxication, or some argument happening in the car with the husband. That's why she lost control over it. Now, in India, we do not have IDRs in our vehicles, incident data recorders, like the aeroplanes have the black box to find out exactly what might have happened in that situation.
Yeah.
As it's mentioned that the CCTV says that it first hit the divider, then it hit the vehicle. And the irony is, the worst part is the platinum 10 minutes. If the first aid would have been provided in first 10 minutes, there was maybe about 60-70% chance he might have, Navjot might have survived. But they took him all the way to 19 kilometers, and that too in a private vehicle, where there was no CPR or first aid or anything was given to Navjot. And what I could understand that this hospital belonged to some known person of the
Yes.
culprits, and that's why they wanted to escape from there. And they have escaped the medical they have destroyed the medical evidence as well, because once they reach the hospital, first thing first they would have done is the medical of the Gaganpreet Kaur, the driver, whether she was under intoxication or whether she was something else was happening in the car. So we do not know what transpired, and I don't know whether the police is going to find the real truth from Gaganpreet here.
But it seems like they have a tight case, because they don't seem to be seeking police custody any further. That generally happens when police has pretty much figured out everything and they just want to get over with the legalities. Now, let me bring in Piyush Tiwari as well. Piyush, give me a legal point of view here. In situations like these, I remember when rape cases during Nirbhaya's time, when we were reporting, the law on this was very clear, that it doesn't matter where it occurred. If a woman is going into a police station to file a complaint, it will be taken on board. Similarly, in road accidents, I'm trying to understand what is the protocol here. One way could be that let's not wait for an ambulance, let's just put them in a vehicle so that they can be taken to the nearest hospital. Is that the protocol under the law?
So there are a couple of things to consider here. One is the pre-crash aspect. So what happened in the car, what led to the crash, and so on and so forth. And the only way to find out what happened in the crash is to investigate the crash under Section 135 of the Motor Vehicle Act, as amended in 2019. Now, the challenge is that the police are not seeking police custody, but to establish a case under culpable homicide, they will need to have forensic evidence, which will need to be collected under Section 135. CCTV evidence alone will not help. You have to look inside the vehicle, you have to look outside, you have to look at infrastructure. There are at least 300 data points that you have to capture in order to ensure that, to establish that case. So in many cases of culpable homicide, in the cases of road crashes, we see accused parties being, not getting punished because the police has not been able to establish evidence. So that, leaving that aside, I think the challenge here is that when we talk about trauma care, there's an entire chain of survival that gets involved here. You need to know who to call for help. Once the help arrives, and in the meanwhile, bystanders, under the Good Samaritan law, can look after the victims. When the help arrives, they need to get formal care to the hospital, and so on and so forth. So in this case, we saw that entire chain of survival was completely neglected, was completely abolished. So in a typical scenario, you have to take the person to the nearest hospital, even if you're not waiting for an ambulance. In this case, of course, as we've seen, that the person was taken to was not taken to the nearest hospital, was taken to a facility quite far away, which I think is a point that police also needs to look into, and see if it's worthy of vicarious liability, and charging, filing additional charges in this particular matter. But the one point that I wanted to leave you with is that, we are discussing this today because it's a sensational case now. It involves a very senior government officer, and so on and so forth. 173,000 people died in 2023 in road crashes. 173,000 people. 474 people a day. That's a fully loaded Boeing 747 crashing every single day in the country. And unfortunately, a big cause of this is speeding. And what we are seeing across the country, not just in Delhi, is a complete abdication of responsibility by enforcers in controlling speeding, in showing visibility, both day and night. We are seeing in capital, in the heart of the city, wrong side driving happening, people driving without helmets, people doing zigzag driving, over speeding. If this is happening in the capital, we can imagine what's happening on the highways. So the Achilles heel for road safety in India really is enforcement. In 2019, the Motor Vehicle Act was amended, passed. 1st September, it was notified. States had to create rules under it. Section 138(1)(a) for protection of motorized, non-motorized road users, 136(a) for electronic enforcement, 135 for forensic crash investigation. States have not issued those rules. It's been more than 5 years. What is Delhi government doing in terms of bringing in these rules?
I'm very glad you brought that up, Piyush, as well. I was anyways going to sort of bring that about, and you see those numbers on your screen right now also, how year by year, it doesn't seem to be settling down. It only is increasing. And and you're right when you say that this is a senior finance ministry official. That's why it's made it to the headlines. How many people lose their lives every minute on the roads of our country, and we never even notice. But let's talk solutions here, Piyush. Today, if you are speeding in Delhi, you get a ticket, no matter what. Even if you cross the zebra line, you get a notification that you have been challaned. So I'm trying to understand, is challaning now the right way to go about it at all? Because a lot of these people then just pay and still continue to speed on the roads.
You see a large, if you look at violations, right? So Delhi has now installed cameras at a number of places, and many of them have ANPR capabilities, which is automatic number plate reading capabilities, and they're able to issue challans as a result of that. If you stand on any intersection, do a general survey in terms of number of challans issued versus the number of violations that you can capture there, you'll see a dramatic difference there. What that tells you is that electronic enforcement alone does not help. You need a combination of electronic enforcement with visible policing to create a deterrent factor. And that deterrence is very, very important because it's not just in India. The same drivers, when driving in Dubai or the US, will drive better only because they know that enforcement is tight there. So challaning is not the only solution, or we can't talk about it casually. Enforcement is a very significant established method of controlling this public health epidemic that is taking place in our country. And if we don't undertake enforcement effectively using both technology and human means, like for example, the others, guests spoke about, potentially doing a drunk driving test on the driver. A camera can't do that. A camera can't gauge whether somebody's driving drunk or not. There are many other violations that are coming up.
Those are very, very important points, Piyush. And I'm afraid that's all the time we have. But thank you so much for joining us. If I might also say that, it's not just about what happens after you're on the wheel. I think checks need to begin before you get the license. And that's, again, a space where India is very, very weak, very, very far behind. Proper tests are not done in issuing of licenses, and I think that's also one of the major reasons. But Piyush Tiwari and Dr. Kamal Soy, thank you so much both for joining us on that discussion.